Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise in relation to the budget presented by the Honorable Minister of Finance on March 25th, 2013, under the theme, Overcoming Challenges, Together Accelerating Gains for Guyana. Mr. Speaker, as an elected member of Parliament, representing Region Number 5, I want to say this 2013 budget will not remove the frustration and depression that exists. Shouting the biggest budget ever will not solve the problem. It will not make an impact on the poor people's lives. When on a daily basis, residents continue to face hardship. The budgetary allocation to Region 5 continue to be inadequate. Hence, the affairs of the region are not properly administered, and this is hindering development in all sectors. Sir, the purpose and function of any government is to sustain the welfare and the well-being of all people, rich and poor, young and old, and such. The budget is not a statement to be taken in isolation. It is a part of a design to bring great happiness and comfort to all Guyanese. The emphasis and the objective is and must always be the happiness of the people. Mr. Speaker, prior to this budget, the APNU members of Parliament embarked on a series of outreaches in 6 out of 10 administrative regions. We went into the highways and byways. We spoke to the residents, Mr. Speaker, in the various communities, and we listened to their stories and concerns as to how they feel their issues should be addressed. I would like to thank these patriotic citizens most profoundly, for my presentation today was aided by them. What is of great concern is the fact that many of these persons and groups claim that they have also voiced their concerns to the members of the government. Mr. Speaker, as such, I am disappointed, for I know that these issues were not addressed in the budget. I recall that during previous debates, I spoke about some very critical problems affecting people of Region 5, matters which required urgent attention, but the government completely ignored the needs of the people. Mr. Speaker, whenever I stand to speak, I don't mislead this House. I am here with issues from Region 5. Budget 2013 is before us, and so now I turn my attention to rice. At page 18, the Honorable Minister outlined the achievements in the rice industry as another record performance. Mr. Speaker, I stand there as a messenger of Region Number 5. I stand here to deliver a message from the farmers of Region Number 5. I have said before, and I will continue to say, that Region 5 is the largest agricultural region in the country, and therefore our input to the country's development is very important. All is not well in the agriculture sector in Region 5. A collaborative approach is required to address the key obstacles faced by farmers to ensure that the limited resources are used effectively and efficiently. Mr. Speaker, priority must be given to the implementation of measures to reduce flooding in the flood-prone areas on a timely basis. Maintenance of access roads, dams, drains, structures, canals, rice lands, repairs to cokers and sluices must always be ongoing. We know that huge sums of money are spent in some areas to rehabilitate farming communities. But what is worrying, Mr. Speaker, is the failure to manage the business of the state. Cattle continue to ravage farmers and destroy the infrastructure. Tractor owners continue to traverse the dams on a daily basis, in and out of the rainy seasons. And these are the big ones, Mr. Speaker. I'm asking that measures be put in place to deal with these unacceptable behaviors. Mr. Speaker, because of the adverse conditions experienced in the past, drainage and irrigation is absolutely necessary. There can never be any recovery from adverse conditions. So the government needs to put in place a comprehensive disaster preparedness program to deal with emergencies, to save the millions of dollars that farmers would have spent on their farmlands. In Region 5, we have an ongoing land-related issue. Once again, MMA, ADA, had caused to publish the names of farmers who are delinquent with payment of their drainage and irrigation charges. I recall, Mr. Speaker, some years ago, farmers battled this very issue under the watch of former Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Robert Prasad. Sir, during this period, the minister came to Bushland and he spoke with hundreds of farmers. And at that meeting, the minister decided to have set up a land review committee. Mr. Minister, remember that? And so this land committee, Mr. Bishop, Honorable Member Bishop, a very good man, he headed this review committee. I said an honorable man. He headed this committee. And we had 6 such consultations in Region 5. We had 3 on the west coast of Belize. We had 3 in the Maikoni. Farmers came out and they expressed their feelings and concerns. Mr. Speaker, this package went to the Honorable Minister then. Andrew Bishop, that's right. And so, this package is with Mr. Prasad, the then Agriculture Minister. I'm asking the now Agriculture Minister, please to collect that very package. That is a very important package. Please collect that package from Mr. Robert Prasad so that we can proceed with feelings that expressed during that period. Farmers came out and they expressed their feelings, Mr. Minister. And so I need you to get that package so that we could have a way forward. There were farmers also whose loans the then president restructured because, Mr. Speaker, he had to do that to save their properties and give them the opportunity to go back to their livelihood as farmers. That was a way forward. And so we need to have a way forward this time around. Because, Mr. Speaker, the constant flood in some areas, farmers are indebted to MMA. There's no dispute about that. And because of this indebtedness, some farmers have no choice but to sublet for survival. And that is what is causing the problem right now, subletting. Mr. Speaker, facilities are not in place to access the land needed. They need equipment. We know in the past, MMA had tractors and combines to assist the small farmers. That is not in place anymore. And so the problem here is not repossession, but a meaningful solution. These farmers have to put food on their families' tables, and they have no other means to do so. And sir, I have some suggestions from the farmers. They want to meet with Honorable Minister Ramsamy as urgent as possible. They have burning issues. They have problems, Mr. Minister. They feel also that the notices that are in the papers is not adequate. MMA must send notices to the farmers telling them when this repossession period will take place, because some don't even buy newspapers. And so they are only airing by the way that their names are in the papers. So I am saying, Honorable Minister, that you need to come and talk with these farmers. Farmers believe that the rich should not get this land, but all their children, some of them have 5, 6 sons. And these lands must be given to their sons, Mr. Minister. The government needs to bridge the gap between the haves and the have-nots, the rich and the poor, and the grassroots farmers. Mr. Speaker, agriculture is a business. All their life, since in the days when plumbing was done with a pair of oxen. And Mr. Speaker, even before the MMA came into existence. So how can we say to these farmers now that the lands are not theirs anymore? Serious consideration is necessary at this time for those farmers to meet their survival needs and their living standards. Mr. Speaker, I hope that during this 2013 period, farmers will overcome the barriers that presently exist. I must warn that consultation is needed at all times when dealing with farmers' issues. Let us look at the high prices for fuel, fertilizer, even the labor costs in the rice industry now, the chemical, transportation, be the truck, or even the combines, the draining cars that are loading into the trucks. These prices, Mr. Speaker, continue to rise, but the paddy price remains the same. And so the farmers need some relief. Let us look in the Strathcampbell, Mycony area, wash clothes and those areas. The farmers there, Mr. Speaker, still waiting the four-door sluice at the Basket Plymouth Canal. And Mr. Speaker, they want a continuation of the Port Bible Canal to link the Bonat, this is a very thin word. Botonabu Creek, not accustomed to the word, Botonabu Creek, to ease them of all their drainage problem in the area. So, Mr. Speaker, there are problems in the rice industry. We cannot run away from this. There are problems. I'd like to turn my attention to housing and water. Mr. Speaker, I stood up in this very house during last year, and I spoke about number 22 Bel Air, West Coast Berbice. There's a squatting area there. I hope that the minister taking into consideration number 22 Bel Air, squatting area. The residents there have been clamoring for years to get the area regularized in order to access electricity and pure water supply. But to no avail. I have spoken about this before. It's the same old story all the time. Mr. Speaker, talking about water. In my area, we had these white kids from Connecticut. It's a program that they are on in Guyana. B3 you call it. Building Beyond Borders. They are even Festival City. And so we were fortunate in the Kingley, Chester area to have them build a community center for us. We call it the King Chester. They came in like 3 weeks ago. Mr. Speaker, a Sunday getting up morning. And on the Monday getting up morning, we were awake with screams and shouts. And we were like, what happened to these children already? Mr. Speaker, when you run to the rescue of these 4 of them, it's like they torn on the pipe and they saw the crumbs from the wall. And if I should display, this is no joke, Mr. Speaker. If I should display how these children went on, each and every one of us will run out of this National Assembly. The screams and the shouts and there's blood coming through the top. There's blood coming through the top. Mr. Speaker, that was a false impression. I know what you see is that you get. So they tell themselves that this is it here. Our preachers great and small. I am saying that is not. When we get up to speak, it was acknowledged that Honorable Dr. Jennifer. She acknowledged that everything is not well. We must let the Chinese people know that all is not well. We had a second set of B3 students came. As soon as they get here, they said, we were told not to touch the tops. And so the message went all the way to Connecticut. And that put us in a bad spot. We had to purchase 5 gallons of water for 40 kids on a daily basis for them to brush their teeth. So you can understand, Mr. Speaker, we need proper water system. If we're talking about, yes, we need potable water. And if we're talking about tourism, these are people coming into our country. And when they reach here, and that is what they see, blood through the tops is a serious mess. So we're far from tourism. Mr. Speaker, it is appalling to see the deplorable state of government houses in the MMA 8A compound. Mr. Speaker, not even at the MMA level, even the police compound at Fort Wellington. These houses are ready to drop at any minute. And I mean to say there are persons who need homes, Mr. Speaker. And so also you go to these areas and you see these government houses, they're standing by themselves. Public servants need homes to live, and they cannot have these homes, Mr. Speaker. We have to do something. It seems like no effort is being made to renovate these buildings and taking into consideration the billions that will be spent in water and housing sector during 2030. I say, Mr. Speaker, that consideration must be given to families to have access to water, who live in locations all their lives but have no documentation of ownership to take to GWI. Hence, they have no water. They always have to molest neighbors for water. I would like to see this government, during this year, to give consideration, say something to Gaiwa, so that these persons in this category can have some assistance. Mr. Speaker, roads and bridges. During 2011, the residents of Burma, Maikoni, had to block the main access road to show their disgust with the state of the road here. Yet today, the situation remains the same. This is unacceptable, and they have changed the name now from Burma Road to Abortion Road. Mr. Speaker, because pregnant mothers are suffering in that area, Mr. Speaker, whenever I have to go to Burma, it hurts to go to Burma, I am saying that. And I hope that the Honorable Minister will have the road complete in 2013. He had promised to do it in 2012, it didn't happen. Please let it happen in 2030. The view of the residents in various communities is that they should be consulted whenever development works are being carried out in their communities. They need consultation. The residents feel while the government boasts about the accomplishment of roads and bridges, the work is of poor quality for large sums of money. Region 5 should be part of a level playing field when the determination of Mr. Speaker, of whatever is being done there in the construction of roads and bridges, they want to have their say. We need proper streets and roads in region in number 30. We need it in number 28. We need it in Litchfield, Bushflat, Catherine, Calcutta, Uptown, Yeovil and living, Mr. Speaker, Belgium, the south of the public road at Tempe. There's a police officer living. Mr. Speaker, when it rains, that officer with her footwear in her hand, battling through, going to work. We need to have these officers more comfortable. It's 2 of them, one in 28 and one in Litchfield, and one in Tempe, Surrey. And so, Mr. Speaker, these areas are not listed for works in 2030. I don't know what will happen to these people. Power generation and supply. This is getting nowhere in Region 5. There is no reliable and affordable supply of electricity. Our young people have to be using lamps, Mr. Speaker. They cannot even enjoy a simple television program or computer service. I spoke about number 30 Back Street. 40 homes there, Mr. Speaker. The Honorable Prime Minister knows about it, and Dr. Anthony knows about it. Because this is during 2006. The former president, Mr. Jagyu, during his campaign in those regions, promised the people there, this is 2013, up to now, nothing. And so those 40 homes in number 30 Back Street, those young people are asking every day, when are we going to have electricity and no lamps? I have been pleading since 2007 too, for Calcutta, Catherine, number 9, number 8. Mr. Speaker, these are areas that haven't seen electricity all their lives. Young people growing up without electricity. So, Mr. Speaker, just to mention a few, these poor people cannot even enjoy a comfortable living like every one of us in this house. Surely, they cannot afford the 238,000 per household. That is what causing the problem. In one pole to get to their homes, $238,000. Poor people, Mr. Speaker. There's also a need for street lights in the region. Mr. Speaker, in the following areas, Chester to Rising Sun. I am living in a little village called Yeovil, like an original country girl. And so I'm living in Yeovil. Electricity stopped the village before me 4 years ago. And I stood up here talking about my village. People are saying to me, you're the member of parliament and you're living in darkness. I hope that the Honourable Minister will see it fit that at least the MP of Region 5 can access street lights. God needs to show some concern and bring some relief to residents, especially the ills that are taking place in our society today. The rape, break and enter, that's the order of the day. Sanitation, Mr. Speaker. The disposal of solid waste in a safe and efficient manner is supposed to be everybody's business, so as to ensure the health and safety of the citizens in this country. There are 3 landfilling sites that were identified in Region 5 for garbage disposal. The residents are saying that there must be consultation before anything happens. And so, Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Minister need to have that done in Region 5. Sea and river defense. Mr. Speaker, the northern embankment of the main drainage canal is being threatened by the Atlantic Ocean. I noticed that the Minister is not in here. The embankment has eroded significantly in the vicinity of El Dorado village. You see the events? Division of the Ministry of Work need to look at this urgently. Region 5 needs a proper seawall structure in number 37. Plantation Brand, Yeovil where I'm living, Plantation Ross. Urgent corrective measures are needed in these unsafe and frightening areas. Residents of Prophet, Fowles, El Dorado and Belladon are tired of the salt water and the losses of millions they suffer. Mr. Speaker, these residents are still awaiting compensation. The vulnerable groups. I now turn to the issue of poverty among our poor. Single parents, the elderly, the young, the disabled, and the powerless. The emphasis and the objective must be happiness to our people, especially since the government says overcoming challenges together, accelerating gains for Guyana. That is the theme for the 2013 budget. Mr. Speaker, Guyanese need a good life. This depends at a personal level. They need a sound education, satisfactory employment, economic opportunity, and social protection for the vulnerable. The number of applications for public assistance has increased tremendously, Mr. Minister. Over the years, it is alarming that the majority of applications for economic situations. Mr. Speaker, this tells a story, and judging from the applications, we are sure to have more dropouts in school. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Workers can no longer survive on the meager wages due to the high cost of living. And this is contributing the increased poverty in the region. Mr. Speaker, there are parents who cannot afford to send their children to school, and there are those who go without meals. Child abuse, domestic violence, suicide, and rape are all on the increase. Mr. Speaker, I must say that the Probation and Social Services worker in Region 5 are doing a very good job, and I need to, but those who are in charge of the Child Protection Division in Region 5, the minister needs to give that area complete overall. The officers there are not working in the interest of our region's children. In this National Assembly, we know we have to disagree to agree. This is our country, and we want what is best for everyone. The truth of the matter is, some of us have and some don't have. So there's nothing. All we're asking for is a decent standard of living. This government must make sure that this happens. Young people comprise 60% of the Guyanese population. Our success as a nation relies on youth. And so, Mr. Speaker, although they are graduating from various learning institutions, yet they remain unemployed. And so, Mr. Speaker, the youths of Region 5 deserve a better living standard. And so I'm saying that Region 5 must have a level playing field. We need a platform for drama, music, and arts also. Government needs to create and implement a program for the children of Region 5 with special needs and also gifted and talented children. Every year the region takes children to the annual National Athletics Championship, and they perform well from the region. They are never given the opportunity after them to see the light of the day, until it comes around again next year for National Championship. Mr. Speaker, upgrading and develop the sporting facilities in my region, it must be a priority. And so we need to look at the areas. Port never had a ground, Strathcampbell, number 28, Litchfield, number 5, and so, Mr. Speaker, the list goes on. And Mr. Speaker, I'm saying that in health, we need a malaria center, because we have young people who are earning their livelihood from the interior. And so we're asking that they be given a center in Region 5 and ease them from traveling to New Amsterdam or Georgetown whenever they have this attack. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the purpose of a budget is to improve the quality of life for all Guyanese, not a few. Guyanese have the right to know how their monies are being spent. Guyana cannot continue in this present state of stagnation, for if we allow that to happen, our future generation will enjoy no peace and prosperity. We, Mr. Speaker, we want not to remain poor. We don't want to be dissatisfied and deprived. Our personal aspiration must not be to remain unrealized. And so we hope for a better life that will fulfill our needs. Our children's future will be bleak if we don't have this. We cannot allow this to continue. So, Mr. Speaker, we have to pray and ask the Lord to move the ministers of the government from a hearing place to a listening place. For it is known, it is a known fact that only by listening we can adapt and make good decisions. Mr. Speaker, the APNU aim is to make this parliament meaningful and to bridge the gap between the haves and the have-nots. So, Mr. Speaker, in this 10th parliament, we are saying no gap must exist. This must be the main focus to make the inputs and shape decisions, especially those that are affected directly. Hence, I say in closing that this God don't sleep, and he reminds us in Proverbs 29:4, when the king is concerned with justice, the nation will be strong. But when he is concerned with money, he will ruin this country. Thank you.